Kia ora guys, it's my turn for Jersey Tales this week. The jerseys are 3 here in one of the rooms, so come on through and take a look. This is all my jerseys here. You've come at a good time because I'm actually sorting them out to reframe a few and put a few in frames. When I say reframe, this one here is first test against the All Blacks in 2006 at Eden Park. This is my Tukaro Pirates jersey. This is where it all began for me, really. I'm from a big family. I'm one of 8 kids, 5 boys in our family, so I used to play for them first 15 and then go play for Pirates afterwards, and I got the opportunity to play with 2 other brothers there, so there's 3 boys in the senior team of us 5. And then also this one here, which is Southern United later on. Pirates and Tukaro amalgamated, so they become Southern United in about 20 years ago, just over 20 years ago.
And it's a big day in the life of 21-year-old Isaac Boss as he takes over the starting role from Rhys Duggan at halfback.
That's where it all began for me for Waikato as well, you know. Being from somewhere like Tukaro, you're pretty staunch Mulu man, you know. So and that represents for me my first real opportunity. I remember Fozzie was coaching and I was about to head down to Otago University, I think, to do physiotherapy as you leave school, and he said, look, we rate you quite highly, would you stay here? So I just did management at Waikato Uni like everyone does. And then, the next year I was playing for Waikato, and it's important as well because that's where I finished my career as well. Geez, I think it was 17 years later.
And what a big moment for Isaac Boss. We've seen him for Waikato, the Chiefs, the Hurricanes, and now a test debut for him.
I always wanted to play for Ireland. I played for New Zealand 19s. I was playing 7s when I was younger as well, and I was on New Zealand standby, but I stopped playing that because I'd lose my eligibility. So if I ever pulled on a New Zealand jersey at senior level, I'd never be able to play for Ireland. And then 2004, I got the call that you'd been selected on the end of year tour, you know, so I was like... And then I said, look, I want to play for Ireland. And then the voice at the other end of the phone said, well, I guess you've got a decision to make if it's now or you might never get the opportunity. So, yeah, eventually got over to Ireland in 2005.
A lot of people would listen to that and say, how on earth could you turn your back on an All Blacks jersey?
I guess it's when you're growing up, and like Tukaro explained how important all these jerseys were to me, and I guess I was quite aware. I had a cousin actually that played for Ireland before I did, so her name was Anne-Marie McAllister from Patararu and played for the Irish women's team, so I was always really aware of it. And I remember I used to always get up and watch Six Nations. Dad was a massive rugby fan, so we'd be up at 3 and 4 in the morning watching the 5 Nations at the time, and I heard the stat that Ireland had never beaten the All Blacks, and I thought, I'd love to be in that team that beats the All Blacks one day. This is Liam Messam's jersey, actually, the All Black jersey, 2013. That's an important jersey to me because I guess in this game, playing against Liam, obviously from our connections at Chiefs and obviously where it all started at Waikato and Hautapu down the road here, we were clubmates there. And that game there, we thought we had won it. And then obviously that's the game in Dublin, which was the last kick that they took twice. For me, it just symbolises everything about rugby connections with Liam from home. I'm pretty happy that Liam, came up afterwards and said, we've got to swap this jerseys, man. We've got to swap this. How cool is this in Dublin, So, yeah, that's a great story. That's Ireland against England, if you look there in the centre, 2007, and that was at Croke Park in Dublin. We beat England by a record score, 40-odd points, and I scored the last try in the match, so it's kind of ironic. That's what everybody in Ireland remembers me for. And that's, if you're walking down the street, they'll always mention he scored against England in Croke Park.
Sean Perry switches play. God, that's got the legs to get there. He certainly has. It's Isaac Boss, the scrum half, of course, and this is now a horrible defeat for England.
Why that's so significant is Croke Park, Lansdowne Road was getting knocked down and getting built again for the Aviva Stadium that it is now. So they had to find a place to play their home matches, and they actually ended up renting out Croke Park. And Croke Park's the bastion of Gaelic games, all Irish sports. So the Catholics played Gaelic football, and the Protestants and anyone else or foreigners played rugby, and it was the whole idea of having a foreign sport being played on Croke Park, and especially being the English as well. So it was quite controversial, and you'd get goosebumps. I remember at the time of the anthem, there's all the guys crying and a bit of a hush going through the crowd, and it was actually a turning point in Irish rugby, I think. So we beat the English by a record score. After that, they were like celebrating. All the Gaelic guys were watching rugby. It sort of united the country, and I think they're paying the dividends for it now that, there's just a massive supporter base, and young kids from any denomination or religion of playing rugby. It's brilliant. All right, guys, that's my Jersey Tales. Thanks very much for letting me share it.